Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name's Janelle and I upload new videos every Wednesday and Friday. And in today's video, I'm so excited. I've watched endless hours of celebrity makeup artists, from Makeup by Mario, Hrush, Makeup by Ariel, Scott Barnes, Charlotte Tilbury, and today I thought it would be cool to kind of regurgitate all the information that I've learned from them and incorporate it in this one video, just going super in depth on some of my favorite techniques that I've learned from them. I will say from the jump, a majority of the tips are from Makeup by Mario, just because I have admired his work for the past 10 years, like literally since I got into makeup. But I will be just also encompassing tips that I've learned from all those artists. Also, tell me that this would not be the perfect like Valentine's Day date night look. I will say you're gonna wanna grab a snack, you're gonna wanna grab a drink, because I guarantee you this video is going to be very long, just because I am going to be going so in depth on every aspect. And the reason why I'm going so in depth even on the most minute details, professional makeup artists and celebrity makeup artists, it's all in those little tiny techniques you might think would be completely unnecessary or that won't make a difference. But when you pile up all these unique little tips and tricks that are so minute, when you add them all together and you look at the big picture, that's what sets celebrity makeup apart from everyday person that does makeup. So I really want you guys to hone in on all those little tips. Watch this video in ×2 speed if you have like a fast brain like me and you can't sit there for 45 minutes but you want all the information. Just change the playback speed, and then that way you can watch the video and get all the information in half the time. I'll show you how to do that right here. But yeah, if you guys want to see how I got this makeup look, then definitely please keep watching. You guys hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I would seriously love to have you guys join my YouTube family. Let's get into the video. I'm so excited. Hey guys, let's get started. I feel so good right now. So as you guys know, my face is so swollen because this whole weekend I've just been indulging. We had a blizzard. I was just eating snacks, making like really good, wholesome, comfy meals, and change that with some contour and highlight. I already started off by prepping my skin. I did my serum, did my moisturizer. I feel like serums are very personal to whatever you like to use. I know I like to go in with like a hyaluronic acid, something that will retain moisture so that my makeup will just like wear even and not look dry or cracked throughout the day. I also was going with a vitamin C serum, and then I did my moisturizer and SPF. I noticed that a lot of professional makeup artists start with the eyebrows because it frames their face. So I'm going to start off by cleaning up underneath of my brows, because I believe that's what Makeup by Ariel does, and then I'm going to shape them with my eyebrow pencil. I'll leave everything linked down below. I'm just taking a little bit of my kryolan concealer and I'm just gonna clean up my brow to shape it. Also, another thing I noticed, a lot of these celebrities makeup artists don't use primer. A lot of them just go in with like a super hydrated base. I've also found that by concealing my brows before filling them in makes me use way less brow product, because it's already creating the shape and getting rid of any of the little straggle hairs that I don't want to see. So then I end up using way less product. Okay, so now that my brows are concealed, I'm just going to lightly fill them in with my Sephora brow pencil. And I know Hrush does this, where she brushes all the brow hairs down first and fills in this top portion first. I also noticed that by filling in the brows up top, ends up creating a more natural brow effect versus when you start like filling in from the bottom. It creates like a softer, more lifted brow. And this is that technique I know Makeup by Ariel does, where he like just really diffuses the front part of the brow. So I'm just taking the back end of my spoolie and just making sure that this is really soft. Also, I noticed Makeup by Mario does this a lot, where he doesn't want the front of the eyebrow to look filled in. He wants those hairs to look very natural. It's crazy because I feel like Instagram always focuses so much on like big, bold brows. Very few celebrity makeup artists accentuate the brows as much as we do on social media. I know 2016 the block brow was in. Now everybody has strayed from the block brow, but everybody has like the big feathery brows, which I think are beautiful. But I've noticed a lot of celebrity makeup artists don't do that on their clients, unless their client naturally has super full, fluffy eyebrows. This is the eyebrow that always gives me so many problems. So now I'm gonna gel my eyebrows down using my Got To Be Glued spiking gel. Now, I don't see a lot of celebrities using this. However, I have heard that celebrities have used this in the past. But I know Makeup by Mario uses a very strong brow glue. It's his brow glue. I don't have that, but what he does with his is he'll like dip his in his product. He'll let it sit out for 2 minutes so it gets tacky, and then he will set the brow. And I have found that whenever I do that technique with this product, it ends up not going on my eyebrows as like gloppy, and then it holds my brows in place way more without having to like use too much brow gel. I literally just sat here and waited for 2 minutes, so now I'm just going to back comb my brows because that's what Makeup by Mario does, and then he coats them up. And then he just keeps this front area feathered, but then he keeps the rest pretty tame. Ooh, that's a good looking eyebrow. I believe most of the makeup artists that I follow actually do eyes first before their complexion. So that's what I'm gonna do. No, fun fact, Makeup by Mario's eyeshadow palette was inspired by like his concealer foundation palette. And I know he uses a lot of kryolan concealer. So I have this kryolan foundation concealer palette here, and what he likes to do is like kind of like contour the eye first before filling it in with like eyeshadow and powder. And then this is something I've also noticed with a lot of celebrity makeup artists, is that the eyeshadows are very understated. They don't do crazy bold cut crease eye makeup looks. They're typically very subtle and very like complementary to the celebrity's eye shape. That's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna try to keep it more like effortless and just like dramatic but understated at the same time. So I'm gonna be using like a transition shade, but that's in a concealer, like medium-ish contour shade. Pick that up with just this little ColourPop brush. Ooh, I'm actually gonna go in with a shade a little bit darker. And I know Makeup by Mario says that he does this so that way he can easily like wipe away, look at the eye shape and see what eyeshadow shape and look he wants to go with, which I think is super helpful because I know on me when I'm doing makeup on new clients, it's sometimes hard to nail the shape that's most complimentary for the client right away. So a lot of times like you'll have to end up fixing things later on, whereas like if you just kind of like nail the shape down and are able to manipulate it with a cream first, it just makes it so much easier, such a time saver. And I think this is also good to just practice on yourself and play with different like eyeshadow shapes and just like see what will work most complimentary for you and your eye shape. I really want to follow my natural features. This is something that I've recognized ever since I got into makeup. I've always been focused on almost like altering, so like my eyes are drooped more downward, so I've always been focused on trying to overly lift them or just like, I don't know, overly contouring certain areas. I used to not like my jawline, so I tried to like contour up here to shave it down. But the older I've gotten, the more I've realized that like I don't want to manipulate my face so much. I just want makeup that will really flow in with my natural features. Taking a slightly darker concealer tone, and I'm going to use that underneath of my lower lash line. This is a technique I saw Makeup by Mario do, and it was very interesting. And I always love the way his lower lash line looks, like very seamless and like blown out. I think it's due to him like putting the cream there first. Don't worry, this will come together. So now I'm gonna take a smaller brush, a brighter concealer like this, and use this to highlight underneath of my brow bone and my inner corner. I'm creating a base for the powder shadows to go on top of. Blending that out with my finger. I'm also gonna take this really chocolate color concealer here and use that on my upper lash line. All right, doesn't really look like much is going on, but I think this should all come together pretty soon. Just gonna use all this out. So when it comes to my under eyes, I noticed that a lot of celebrities start with a cream product first. I'm gonna, again, mix some of these kryolan concealer shades together. I'm gonna make it a little bit brighter underneath of my eye. I'll be like these three colors, and I'm just going to mix them together and kind of lay it down. Oh, that looks good. I wonder why a lot of celebrities use this kryolan palette. Use this side. I'm then gonna mix these two colors together and use that as an initial cream base for my face. I'm going to mix it with my Kiehl's Ultra Facial Moisturizer, kind of dilute the product a little bit and melt into my skin. This is something that I've seen a lot of celebrity makeup artists do, and it gives you the most flawless base. I'm just scooping some of the Kiehl's moisturizer out in the back of my hand. Then I'm gonna scoop out some of the product. I'm gonna take a beauty sponge to just further push it into the skin. From there, I'm gonna take a very bright concealer like this one and only put that in this inner corner here to further brighten, and then a little bit down the bridge of my nose. I'm also going to apply a little bit to my chin. seen this done a lot where they'll apply the cream base of products first and then go in with a liquid foundation. Not sure why, but it must be for a reason. Maybe it helps everything photograph better. I'm gonna apply literally 1 pump of foundation on top of all this. Now this seems like a lot, but I'm just trying to implement all the techniques. I'm gonna take my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, which is more of like a medium sheer coverage foundation. I'm just gonna do 1 pump on the back of my hand. This is in the shade 6.25. I'll work it into my sponge and then just pat it out here. I don't know if this just helps like melt the cream into the skin a little bit more and just like marry everything together. Doing my makeup, I guess, like I'm going on the red carpet one day. Now, I know a lot of them, when they contour, they don't apply contour directly to their skin. They will work it into a brush and then apply it to their face. I'm gonna mix this shade right here with maybe like these 2 colors. Honestly, any sort of like cream contour will work. And this will just help it so you have a more diffuse contour and it's not so harsh. No celebrity ever, you never see that harsh contour line for the most part. Typically, everything just looks so seamless and airbrush and all the makeup just looks like them. I know her hrush, she'll typically have a more harsh contour, but she'll apply it underneath of the foundation so that it ends up being more seamless. So you could also try that technique too. I know Makeup by Mario mentioned how he likes to like kind of follow the natural smile and not bring the contour past that. That way it matches your like natural smile and face shape. And then now to further define, I'm actually gonna take the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Stick in the shade Dark. And with a smaller brush, I'm gonna work it into a brush and just put that right in the hollow. And blending that out. As far as the nose contour goes, I know that so many celebrities start the contour right in the eyebrow and then bring it down to make the bridge look so much slimmer. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take it with the same ColourPop brush that I was using on the eyes and just start working that up here in this front part of my eyebrow. Literally like inside of my eyebrow and in all these cream shadows that we were working with earlier. I feel like every celebrity makeup artist uses NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. That's what I'm gonna use today. Again, it's a lot of layering, but this is what I've seen them do. But what I noticed that they do is they work it on the back of their hand first. They never apply concealer directly to the face, probably for sanitary reasons, but then also so that you're not globbing on too much product and you're able to thinly disperse the product. I'm applying some to the back of my hand first. Then I'm gonna take my little flat shader brush and we're gonna lay this underneath of the eye. I also noticed that they don't do just the inner corner and outer corner thing. They typically bring it all the way underneath of the eye, the sides of the nose. And I noticed most of them bring it down to where you smile. Now, Makeup by Ariel focuses most of the brightness just in here and doesn't extend it out so much. But by placing the concealer on the back of your hand and then spreading it out with a brush, it definitely helps you get that brightness without having to glob on too much underneath of the eye to where it ends up being too cakey and heavy looking underneath of the eye. Now I'm just going to pick up the concealer with my damp beauty sponge and then blend it out. This is a technique I've mentioned that hrush said, and it helps it so that your beauty sponge doesn't pick up the concealer when you first apply it to your skin. You'll end up getting the most coverage and like the smoothest blend without it looking patchy. I'm just lightly tapping that into my skin. Oh, my skin is looking really good, especially on camera. I'm also going to take some of that concealer with my Makeup by Mario F3 brush and the smaller side and use that to clean up underneath of the contour. Be careful when shaving your face, especially if you are ethnic and you are prone to just having a lot of hair, whether it's like thick eyebrows, hairy arms, any of that, because your girl was watching these YouTubers shave their face and was like, oh my gosh, I want to try that so my makeup goes on smoother. And now my hair is so much thicker on my face and like you can see it way more. It's like darker. So I'm warning you now, if you're thinking about it, just don't do it. Honestly, don't. Or maybe go to a professional. Dermaplaning, I don't know if that'll make a difference, but I'm just warning you right now. Don't do it because now I'm a slave to shaving my face. My mustache is like, I have 3 big thick hairs there. My Puerto Rican self cannot do it. So when it comes to setting the face, for whatever reason, Laura Mercier translucent powder has most of these celebrity makeup artists in a chokehold. This is what they love to use. I will say I love to use this in my freelance makeup kit, but I really switch up the products that I use underneath of it because of how mattifying it is. I also noticed that they don't use that much of it. They use it very sparingly, and they typically apply it with a powder puff and not with a brush. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick up a little bit. All right, we're going in. They typically use a much larger powder puff. I don't know what happened. I had like these jumbo sized powder puffs, but they disappeared on me. And then I also noticed that a lot of these celebrity makeup artists use these like super expensive creams underneath the makeup, like the La Mer one, and then the, I can't remember the name of it, but it's in like a blue and like a orangey gold bottle. $300 moisturizers that I'm sure really get your client's skin super hydrated, so it's able to handle all this makeup a lot more graciously and not look as heavy. So if you are trying any of these techniques at home, you want to make sure your skin is as hydrated as possible. I'm just taking whatever's left on my sponge and just tapping over my eye to set. To bronze my skin, I'm gonna use a technique I saw Makeup by Mario do, where he took a lighter bronzer first and like bronze everywhere, and then took a darker bronzer and put that like further back in the hairline and a little bit lower, like to define the cheekbones a little bit more. I'm using the shades medium and dark. Yeah, let's start with the light one. I'm picking that up with my hourglass brush and just pressing it into the skin. Again, always smiling and following that natural kind of like smile on your cheekbone. I'm also going to take that same shade and with a smaller fluff brush, set the side of my nose contour. With my Makeup by Mario F3 face brush, the bigger side of the brush, I'm going to take the shade Dark in the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzer and just put that a little bit like further out in the perimeter of my face, just further define and blend. Now, I personally would never think to do these two steps, and I probably wouldn't unless it was like a super special occasion and I wanted to make sure that my face just looked absolutely flawless and photographed perfectly. But it's just interesting to learn about these different techniques and stuff that celebrity makeup artists do that like really set their work apart from just your everyday makeup. What makes theirs like look so much more seamless. It's like all these tiny little steps that they add in. At the end, when you see the big picture, it just makes such a difference. Now I'm gonna take a little bit more of a pinky tone powder. I'm gonna be taking Pound Cake by Huda Beauty. It's not super pinky, but it's just like a brighter, thicker powder. And that's what I'm gonna use to set my under eyes. I know Makeup by Ariel uses the Ben Nye powder, or he used to use the Ben Nye powder on Kylie Jenner, but I noticed that a lot of them like to use like these slightly thicker, brighter powders underneath of the eye. And again, applying it with a powder puff instead of my damp beauty sponge. Just push that in. I know Makeup by Ariel focuses, like I said, most of the brightness in this inner part. And then I'm gonna take a really skinny brush and use that to bring the powder down my nose. Oh my gosh, I feel like Kim Kardashian. I'm even gonna bring some underneath here. And then I'm gonna wipe this part away pretty quickly just because I feel like that always ends up leaving a white cast. And so now I'm going to do my eyeshadow to catch the fallout. Now the eyeshadow isn't gonna be anything crazy because we already have majority of the base of the look from the creams that we used earlier. So we're gonna be using the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. And the reason why I wanna use this palette is because he created these tones to mimic the like concealer, foundation, tones that he would use when he created the cream base look, which is why I wanted to implement his technique today. So I'm gonna start in my crease with like these three colors because that is like the tones of the concealers that I used in my crease to begin with. Start off with this little fluffy Morphe brush. Just tap over what we already have going on in here. I'm now only gonna go into this shade, just kind of like build up this crease a little bit more. Actually, I want to go in with a smaller brush, a slightly smaller blending brush, and just start tapping this. Another thing I've noticed from watching celebrity makeup artists is that they don't use as many eyeshadow colors as I guess like we're used to using, especially when you think of like old school YouTuber where you used just a million and one transition colors. I feel like they just work with the products very slowly and slowly build them versus using like a million different shades. And then they still get that super flawless, seamless blend. Again, I work all the shadows toward this front part of my eyebrow just to make sure it still will blend and flow in with the contour. So I kind of want to do a really pretty, just like golden look. So I'm going to take the gold in my Jaclyn Hill X Morphe palette. I'm going to dip into that. I'm going to spray my brush with setting spray just because this is a technique I like to do. You start tapping that on my eyelid. Taking a blending brush and just diffusing the edges because, like I said, when I watch a lot of these celebrity makeup artists, nothing's ever harsh. Everything looks so like seamless. I'm gonna take some of my MAC Hyper Real Glow highlight. It's shattered on me, so it's a little messy. I'm gonna take the more golden shade in the palette and highlight this inner portion here. Maybe a little under here. And then I'm gonna take my shader brush. I know Makeup by Ariel uses a shader brush for the lower lash line and not a pencil brush. And I'm going to dip into these two colors here and press that along my lower lash line. Then, because I want a little more dimension to the look, I'm gonna take this little gold shimmer topper in my Natasha Denona gold palette. Look how dirty this is. Don't come for me because I don't wipe everything down before I show you it. Palette is dirty. Yes, this is real life. So I'm just gonna pick up that color with my finger and tap it all over my eyelid. Like that. Oh my god. That looks like a celebrity that just did my eye makeup. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm obsessed with this look now. Then this is a technique I learned from a girl on TikTok. I think I know who it is because I feel like she's been popping up on my YouTube feed. So I'm gonna tag her. I think it's her. I don't know for sure though. I have a strong feeling it was her. So she says, not a lot of celebrity makeup looks have that like blown out defined lash line. Well, this is how they do that. They take a brown eye pencil, or honestly any sort of eye pencil, and they line their upper lash line. I'm also gonna tight line my upper waterline. So once that's defined, they take the same transition color that they use on their eye. So I'm gonna take this color. They take that with a flat definer brush and work it in the brush. Take that brush and apply it to the base of their eye and start flicking it up like this to diffuse that brown so you get that really smoky lash line look. You see? But it gives you that super blown out lash line finish. I'm now just gonna take these two colors that match my skin tone and use that to just diffuse up here underneath of my brow bone. I'm also gonna take that dark brown, and this is what Makeup by Mario does, is he tight lines this inner part here, as well as this outer corner. And this is something where now I can't like not do it because I feel like it just really defines the eye really nicely. Okay, so now I'm just going to wipe away this bake under here and kind of like press it in at the same time. And then from there, what do I want to do? What did I want to do again? Oh, and then now this is something I saw Makeup by Mario do, and I was like, what is he doing? Why is he applying a cream on top of all his powdered skin? But he takes his blush and he'll work it into a brush. I'm just working it into the Makeup by Mario F3 face brush, taking the bigger side. And this is in the shade Soft Coral. So just smile into the cheeks like this. And I have found that by doing this, it helps kind of create that more like melted into the skin finish with the skin and helps it just look more natural and creamy. Just gonna also blend it out with my beauty sponge. I'm then going to top the blush with a little bit of my MAC Dainty blush that I haven't used in so long. Then this is another technique I've seen Makeup by Mario do, where he'll take a cream highlight and he will work that into the skin first before going in with a powder highlight. So this one is the Dibs Beauty High Road highlight. It's a really pretty champagne cream highlight. I'm just applying that to the high points of my cheekbone, a little on my chin, forehead. Follow up with my MAC Hyper Real Glow highlight. I'm gonna mix all these shades together. Like I said, this one crumbled on me, which is why it's falling everywhere. Taking my Makeup by Mario F3 face brush, just going to work it on top of that highlight. And it just like helps the highlight, I think, melt into the skin a little bit better. I'm gonna spray my face with some setting spray. I'm also taking some more blush and like flicking it up into this inner portion of the eye. This is something that I know Scott Barnes does, Makeup by Ariel does. What's also going on with my hair? But I feel like it just helps give that really flushed cheek look, which I feel like is more flattering on me. I can't have like the super bright under eye with my blush too far back. It just looks funny on my face. So I do like pulling the blush pretty far up on me. We're gonna do the Makeup by Mario lip lift, where he overlines the top and bottom but not the sides. And I really love this technique. I feel like it's very flattering, and it's flattering on literally everybody. So instead of overlining the whole lip, he only overlines this top portion here. The bottom, and then he brings it in on the corner. And I'm using my favorite lip pencil. This is my Maybelline Totally Toffee lip pencil. For lipstick today, I'm gonna do MAC Modesty. This has been my favorite lip color at the moment. And then I want to warm up this lip color a little bit, so I'm gonna add a little bit of my Makeup by Mario Golden Nude Gloss. This is a really pretty golden tone. Oh, that's so pretty. I'm gonna curl my lashes and apply some false lashes off camera. I don't know what kind of lashes I want to do today. Again, I feel like celebrities, for the most part, their lashes are never like taking over the whole look. So I'm gonna try to find a lash that's complementary to this, and then I'll let you guys know what I end up using. One more technique I wanted to do before I finish everything off is go in with a black eyeliner at the very base of my top lash line to make them look more full. This is a technique Makeup by Mario used to do. And so I'm just going to go literally like right pretty much on top of my eyelashes. And I'm just gonna blend it out with the brush so it's not too harsh, just to give a little more definition. I like these Amazon false lashes. They're very short and full, and they flare out on the end, which I find is most flattering for my eye shape because I don't have the largest eyes. So a lot of lashes tend to just take over and just change my entire eye shape. Like I mentioned, I haven't been necessarily wanting to change my entire eye shape. Like, my eyes naturally droop down. I don't always have to like try to do the opposite and lift them. So to play up that a little bit more, and while channeling my inner celebrity makeup artist, I know hrush creates her own lashes. She'll like stack Ardell Demi Wispy and then individual lashes, and a lot of them will like layer and customize lashes to complement their client's face. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add my Ardell, these little half lashes right here, and I'm just gonna add that to the tail of my eye. Give a little bit more drama and to just kind of customize my lashes. That's pretty. See, it just added a little bit extra flare on the end. Then the very last step that I want to do, and this is even a step I like to implement when I'm doing makeup on my clients, is going over my brows with a powder. So I'll either use a brow powder or just work out of the eyeshadow palette. Typically it's out of the eyeshadow palette that I'm working with, and I'll just take like a neutral brown like this one in the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette, take a flat shader brush and just lightly go over the brows. This makes such a difference in photographs. It creates a more like seamless, better brow. I don't know how to describe it, but it like softens it and just helps it flow so much better. For my wedding, I didn't even use a pencil. I only used brow powder, and I'm so glad I did because it just photographed way better and just looks way more seamless. Look at the difference from this brow when I go over with the powder versus this one. It just softens it and helps it all flow so nice. Again, one of those small details that obviously you wouldn't have time or want to implement, but if it was like a really special occasion and you're doing your makeup for like a big event like your wedding or something, these are the little things that take your makeup to the next level. I lied. There was one last thing I want to implement. This is a technique I see hrush do all the time. She takes the Fenty Invisimatte universal powder and she'll set this under her eyes with like a fluffy brush, and this truly does just diffuse your under eye. It gets rid of any of those little crevices and it helps further brighten. She'll bring it down her nose and in this region here, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do, and it just like brightens and smooths everything out. I feel like especially since this area tends to be very porous, it just helps smooth all that up. This side, how like it just smooths that versus this side. This side still looks good, but this side just looks airbrushed. I'll even take this like under here and then spray one more time. I feel like a celebrity, y'all. All right, you guys, and here's the completed makeup look. I must say, I am thoroughly impressed with how this came out. I've been dying to sit down and implement all these techniques that I've learned into like one video and create this like super celebrity like makeup look that just like photographs really good and that looks super seamless. that's dramatic but also looks effortless, and I achieved that and I'm so happy. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of content you guys want to see next. Let me know if you want to see me film more of these types of videos. Definitely consider subscribing if you love learning all things like makeup tips. I also do some fashion content on here. I'd love to have you here. It would mean the absolute world to me. I've been literally working so hard on this channel for the past like 8 years that subscribing would truly just make my day. I love you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and see you guys next time. Bye.